Man, we got to get into this today. Yeah, we got to get into these crooked judges out here. This judge let a rapist get away with the crime. Let's get into it.
Yvonne was 16 when she learned she'd have to fight. It was May 2021 in rural Quincy, Illinois. Cammie says she drank at a party, fell asleep on a couch, and woke up to someone she didn't know holding a pillow over her face.
I couldn't really see anything and I couldn't breathe good because once I understood this man is raping me, I kind of pushed him off me, rolled off the couch, and I leave the room and went immediately crying and telling my friends what had just happened.
The investigation and three-day bench trial were swift, with 8th Judicial Circuit Court Judge Robert Adrian convicting then 18-year-old Drew Clinton of criminal sexual assault. The charge carried a minimum sentence, 4 years in prison.
What did you think when you heard the guilty verdict?
I mean, I was extremely happy that the man who assaulted me would be going to jail, be going to prison.
Then, in January 2022, a stunning pivot at the sentencing hearing.
You reversed your own ruling.
Yes.
According to court transcripts, Judge Adrian said about Clinton, quote, "This happened when this teenager, because he was and is a teenager, was 2 weeks past 18 years old," adding he has no prior record, none whatsoever. By law, the court is supposed to sentence this young man to the Department of Corrections. This court will not do that. That is not just. Then, calling the 5 months Clinton had already served in jail, quote, "plenty of punishment," Judge Adrian found Clinton not guilty.
There was no new evidence, nothing new to make him change his mind. It was like getting slapped in the face.
According to transcripts, Adrian continued, "We have people, adults, having parties for teenagers, and they allow
My thing is, I understand all of this, but my thing about it is she never went into detail. So she said she woke up and there was a pillow over her face and a 18-year-old boy raping her. How did he get in your place? How did he get inside? Who is he? You got to explain more detail so we could comprehend this rape. Because these days, there's a whole lot of rape allegations. Some woman is doing it for money because they're trying to get some money off of somebody. And some woman is doing it because they really was raped. But now the lines is blurred. We don't know if it's the truth or if it's false. We don't know. So you got to get the story down to the T about how this rape occurred.
co-eds and female people to swim in their underwear in their swimming pool. They provide liquor to underage people, and you wonder how these things happen. Well, that's how these things happen. The court is totally disgusted with that whole thing.
And what's going through your mind?
I had to leave the courtroom. I couldn't be in there. I mean, I was broken.
For nearly 2 years, Facebook groups and petitions called for Judge Adrian's removal, accusing him of reversing his ruling to keep Clinton out of prison despite believing he was guilty. Protests plagued his re-election campaign.
Clinton was not guilty.
Which he won. Then, late last year, a rare hearing with the Illinois Courts Commission, the state's official oversight board.
That commission has now removed you from the bench.
Yes.
Today, Judge Adrian stands by his reversal, now saying he did it after revisiting the evidence.
I revisited the whole evidence because I can do that. It's a bench trial. It's not a jury trial. So I get to look at the whole evidence again.
This judge don't sound right. It sounds like you was trying to protect that 18-year-old boy. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, you was trying to protect him by any means necessary. We're going to protect this 17 or 18-year-old rapist, teenager rapist. And we don't want to give him a, what do you call that? Yeah, we ain't trying to mess up his record. That's basically it. We ain't trying to mess up his record. We ain't trying to send him to jail. We ain't trying to send him to prison. He has no prior charges. So we just going to let him get away with this crime. Are they above the law? Are these judges above the law? I don't know, because I'm starting to think. I've seen non-whites create the same crime and harsh penalty. Dish. Get sentenced. Go serve that little 10, 15 years for your rape charge. Even though they was innocent. know. We don't know, Judge.
And so that's, once I did that, I saw that I'd made a mistake.
His story now, that he reversed his ruling not because he disagreed with sentencing laws. He says he no longer believed Drew Clinton committed assault.
I didn't explain my not guilty ruling because in order to do that, I would have had.
And the thing about all of this is, why they not showing the rapist's face? Huh? Why are they hiding and covering the 18-year-old boy's face? Where he at? His face is supposed to be plastered so we can know who he is. Why is his face not on the news? Why is his face not plastered? What's going on? And this judge that can't execute the law, he don't need to be a judge. If you can't execute the law correctly, you do not need to be a judge. If you can't treat every criminal case with the same type of conclusion, you don't need to be a judge. Because this is called favoritism. Some people gonna get favoritism, some ain't. And that's the title of today's show. Who's above the law?
To say, well, I didn't believe her.
You don't believe her?
Yes, I didn't believe her. I would have had to say that in court. I didn't want to say that. She's a minor.
The oversight board not buying it, writing Adrian intentionally subverted the law, then lied about it under oath to serve his own interests, adding they don't accept his contention that he made a mistake in finding Clinton guilty. And, quote, to any reasonable person, Adrian was refusing to sentence Clinton to a mandatory prison term because he did not believe prison was a just sentence under the...
What? The judge didn't believe that prison was right for that 18-year-old boy? Even though he put the pillow over the woman's face and almost suffocated her and started raping her? You don't believe prison is meant for him. But you believe prison is meant for everybody else. Right? Help me make that sense, audience. Somebody bench this judge and give this judge too. They didn't sentence the criminal. Bring that criminal rapist back into court. Sentence him to 10 to 15 years for that rape. Because now the little girl is traumatized. You done traumatized her. She ain't gonna be able to live through it no more. Not only that, bring that judge, reverse that judge back into court. Get the gravel. Yeah, you see the gravel? Get the gravel and do this. And sentence that judge to 5 to 10 years. For abating this criminal. And trying to make the criminal go free. No, we don't need more judges like this. Get rid of him, discard the key, and call it a day.
Circumstances.
This fight became about the judge.
Yeah.
Cammie, now 18, maintains she was assaulted.
The commission said you lied. Are they
I
wrong?
said, they are wrong.
Okay.
They're totally wrong. The judge should have discretion on whether or not they sentence somebody
Not
to the
beyond the
Department
bounds of the law.
Huh?
Judges have discretion, but within the limits of the law.
Right.
And the commission found
Right.
that you circumvented the law, not wanting to send him to prison.
The commission didn't look at the evidence in the case. And if they would have looked at the evidence in the case, then they would have seen that he was not guilty. But they didn't want to do that because they knew they'd be facing the mob that I've been facing the whole time, and they didn't want to do.
That's right. And that mob is saying, sentence that 18-year-old boy to prison for that rape. That's what that mob is saying. And that mob saying, we ain't gonna let you slide either, judge. We ain't gonna let you slide off of this. Oh no, you ain't above the law. You is not above the law, and you shall be held accountable. Now let's get into the next episode. Done with this filthy ass judge.
Accused of killing a cyclist in Salem while on duty, had his case presented before a federal appeals court today in Seattle.
At the center of today's hearing was whether the agent can claim immunity from state prosecution because he was on duty, an on-duty federal agent. So it's state versus federal here. Fox 12 investigative reporter Ezra Kaplan has been following the case and brings us the story now. Ezra?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You know, this morning, each side was allowed about 10 minutes to argue their case in front.
To my lovely audience, if you haven't liked the video, like, subscribe, hit the notification. and let's get back into the episode. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Of the appellate judges. The debate centers around a complex legal theory anchored in the idea that federal law supersedes state law. But at the heart of this case is the tragic death of a mother, a wife, and a pillar of the Salem community. On March 28th, 2023, Margane Allen was riding her bike home from work in Southeast Salem. Video from that day shows a black pickup truck running a stop sign moments before striking and killing the cyclist. Behind the wheel was DEA Special Agent Samuel Landis, who, according to court documents, was conducting surveillance of a suspected fentanyl dealer. Landis had fallen behind the rest of the surveillance team and was trying to catch up when he allegedly struck Allen on her bicycle.
Ooh. So a DEA agent seeks federal immunity after killing Salem cyclist. So you chasing down a bad guy and you end up killing a woman cyclist that was just pedaling, that was doing some exercise. You know, she was pedaling, doing some exercise throughout the block. And here comes the DEA agent and her life is taken just like that. And he wants immunity. Now, in my life term, I would say it like this. You struck somebody, you killed someone, that's manslaughter, right? So I don't give a damn if you're a police. I don't give a damn if you're a firefighter. I don't give a damn if you're a judge. We don't give a damn if you're a DEA agent. We don't give a damn if you're an FBI agent. We don't give a damn what agent you is. CIA, whoever. You kill somebody, you got to serve the time too, just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. Because, again, no one is above the law. You got to go serve that sentence. That's manslaughter. Handle it like the man you is. Take this charge and serve this sentence. And don't you dare go asking for no immunity, because you don't deserve it. You should have been careful, and you should have went about your business correctly.
Testimony at the grand jury was that there was no urgency and that there was no hot pursuit.
After months of delay, Landis was charged with criminally negligent homicide on September 6th in Marion County Circuit Court. But Landis's lawyers asked to have the case moved to a federal court so that they could use a defense of federal immunity.
And so the immunity doctrine says if the person is acting as a federal agent, then they are immune from state prosecution.
U.S. District Judge Michael McShane granted that request in December of last year, moving the case to the district court in Eugene. The Oregon Attorney General's office appealed that decision and today argued in front of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals that the case should stay in state court.
So normally you actually wouldn't be able to get an appeal heard before you've resolved the entire case. But this is a special circumstance because if the case should not be in federal court, then waiting until it's been heard is a colossal waste of resources and time. And so forth.
An attorney for the state of Oregon argued to the appellate judges that running the stop sign wasn't necessary for Landis to do his job as a DEA agent.
You talk about and focus on urgency with legitimate justification, but are you almost suggesting that there needs to be a necessity for him to have run the stop sign?
Yes, definitely. When a federal officer violates state traffic law, their conduct will only be necessary in that circumstance.
See, there wasn't even no urgency. The DA agent lied. He said there was an urgency he had to get to. That's why he hit that pedalist. There was no urgency. Ain't no urgency, ain't no immunity. And we're going to keep it simple like that.
Circumstance when there is some urgency or emergency that requires them to do so.
Landis's lawyers countered that running the stop sign was perceived as necessary at the time, regardless of how it seems now.
Everybody can say right now that wasn't the right decision. We know that because we know what happened. But what did he know at the time? Was it reasonable, given everything that he knew about the surveillance, about the need to stay in touch with the team, about the dangerousness of this fentanyl dealer? All of that given, was it reasonable? It was a mistake of judgment. We know that. It was a tragedy that happened. But he made that reasonable decision in the context of law enforcement surveillance.
While immunity is at the center of the case, appellate judges are only tasked with answering the question of whether the case should be removed from the state court.
Oh, man, look at that poor old lady. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. This didn't need to happen to her. And now she won't even get justice. Because this fake DEA agent is looking for immunity. Justice need to be served for her. Yes. Oh, man. This is someone's mother right here. Imagine your mother getting ran over by a DEA agent, and then after he kills you, he try to seek immunity. Make that make sense. Get that DEA agent up in prison, please. Slap them handcuffs on his hand, please. And give him a good 5 to 10 years to let him think about his actions and violating traffic laws. Yeah. Please do so.
Into the federal court.
Really, it's about the removal issue. What should this case be in federal court? And I think the answer is just going to be yes or no. And if the answer is no, then it gets kicked back to state court. If the answer is yes, it goes back to the federal district court. And then next, you would have to decide, okay, does the immunity defense apply?
If the case...
Hey, listen here. I'm going to end it like this. Listen here. Listen here, DEA agent. Listen here. You got to keep it P and stand on that. What I mean, take the time. Do your time. Keep it P. Keep it pushing. And stand on business. Yeah, don't be no cucks. Don't be no weak man. No. You did the crime. You shall do the time. And I'm going to conclude this episode like that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Deuces and salute.